Hello guys, here we are with a new session, a travelogue named Ajanta and Ellora in the Monsoon, written by Shashi Tharoor. We are going through, as a part of our course, Indian Literature in English, Semester 5, BA English Language and Literature, and I'm Sarsha. This is our author, Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Born in 1956, he is a member of parliament from Tirunelveli, the former Minister of State for Human Resource Development, and an author, columnist, and human rights activist. He has won numerous journalism and literary awards. Tharoor's first novel, The Great Indian Novel, which was published in 1989, that remains his most famous work. Since then, he has been regularly publishing novels, short story collections, and non-fictional works. This Ajanta and Ellora in the Monsoon is one among the more than 60 essays that have been compiled in The Elephant, the Tiger, and the Cell Phone, Reflections on India in the 21st Century. In the past 25 years, India has gone from a largely impoverished, underdeveloped country to an innovative, dynamic nation. And Shashi Tharoor analyzes the forces that have made and could yet unmake the 21st century India. So, shall we move on to the travelogue? The text begins on page number 58. I'll read the sentences on the text first, and after that I'll try to explain the meaning. It is to an elusive lion that we owe our rediscovery of the cave temples of Ajanta. Tharoor begins the travelogue by thanking an eluded lion for the rediscovery of the cave temples of Ajanta. Elusive means hard to capture or hard to find. So, according to him, not actually according to him, it is the story of how this rediscovery of Ajanta temples have happened. A party of British officers out hunting in 1819 pursued their quarry into a gorge in the thickly wooded Sahyadri hills of west central India. The animal retreated into the dense jungle, but the dazzling sun revealed through the seemingly impenetrable foliage the outlines of a horseshoe-shaped cave. The British officers followed, crossing a river to investigate, and soon forgot all about their hunting. So narrator is telling us the story of the rediscovery of Ajanta temple that situates in the thick woods of Sahyadri hills of west central India. And now it is in north central Maharashtra state, in Aurangabad. It had happened, this incident had happened when a group of British officers followed the lion to the thick forest while they were hunting. Even though they got missed their target, even though they got missed their lion, their target, they could able to find a horseshoe-shaped cave. And do you know what is the shape of a horseshoe? I'll show you how it will be. How it will be like that. This is the shape of a horseshoe. This is a horseshoe. And a horseshoe is a U-shaped metal plate um, by which horses' hooves are protected from wear on hard or rough surfaces. And I'll show you how Ajanta caves are like. So this is the image of Ajanta cave, which I got from this given link. It has a horseshoe shaped figure. They had stumbled upon a site lost for centuries, a series of 30 caves cut into the hills by Buddhist monks between 200 BC and AD 650 to serve as residences, temples, and schools. Each is adorned with statuary chiseled into the rock face by the monks, and in many cases by remarkable paintings telling stories both religious and secular. History does not record what happened to the tiger, but the leader of the hunting party etched his name into the wall across an irreplaceable painting. John Smith, 20 April 1890. This British party of officers, hunting party, they had come across a site which had been hidden in the forest for centuries, for hundreds of years. A series of 30 caves were there, which was cut into the hills by Buddhist monks between 200 BC and AD 650. They were the residences, temples, these caves were the residences, temples, and schools of the Buddhist monks who lived in there. When we go through those caves, we can able to find the art of making statues. We would be able to find so many faces in there, the caves. Rocks were chiseled and made into faces at many places in the cave. Remarkable paintings are there that tells us many religious and secular stories. Many religious and non-religious stories. That means here secular stories means the stories which is not related to religion. That is stories from the lives of the layman or the common man. We don't know what happened to the tiger the British hunting group were following, but the leader of the hunting party engraved his name on the wall. His name was John Smith. Although it is not a content of the story, as a reader, I have noticed one thing that when the story of this Ajanta cave began, Tarur said that they had followed an eluded lion, but here it became a tiger. I don't know whether this original story from the source from where he got this story is saying the same thing or not, but it might be a mistake. I think it might be a it can be a typo or something, some way. I just notice that's it. It doesn't do anything to the content of the story. I don't know whether you have noticed or not. I'll show you how is this John Smith had etched his name on the wall of Ajanta cave. The image is not that much clear, but you might be able to see this, I think. This is an image which I got from the below link. This is how John Smith had etched his name on the walls of Ajanta. Ajanta and Ellora in the Monsoon. asked my wife, Minu, when I suggested we visit the caves this summer when our twin 14-year-old sons, Ishan and Kanishk, would be enjoying their school break. We'll get soaked and the flights will be delayed by the weather. So here he explains the title of the work, that they, the narrator, Shashi Tharoor and his family have visited Ajanta and Ellora during the season of Monsoon. That is why he put the title as Ajanta and Ellora in Monsoon. His wife Minu and their 14-year-old twin sons Ishan and Kanishk are there in his family. But when he suggested such a trip to Ajanta and Ellora in the monsoon, as everybody thinks, his wife is also didn't feel it as a good idea, as we know, rain makes a lot of troubles, right? As she said, it will soak us and flights might be delayed by the weather conditions. And after that, he's explaining how did he reach on such an idea of visiting Ajanta and Ellora in monsoon. That seemed to make sense until I ran into a bibulous Indian guest at a diplomatic party in New York. Have you heard? They are going to close the caves, he asked. Too many visitors, all that hot breath and tramping feet, causing damage to the paintings and sculptures. So they'll be closing them all to the general public. When? I asked, horrified. Next year, I believe. That did it. Monsoon or no monsoon, we were going to catch a glimpse of Ajanta and Ellora before the curtain came down on either place. The speciality of Tharoorian language is that he strengthens our vocabulary. Here we can find a new word, bibulous, means extensively fond of drinking alcohol. Extensively fond of drinking alcohol is the meaning of the word bibulous. So one of his acquaintances at a diplomatic party had given him the information that the authority of Ajanta and Ellora has a plan to close the caves to the general public as the hot breath and the footsteps are causing damage to the paintings and sculptures. So, this piece of information made him to take such a decision to pay a visit at both of the spots, both of the caves. After 2 days of rest in Bombay, we flew 235 miles inland to the city of Aurangabad, northeast of Bombay, for our excursions to Ajanta and Ellora. Aurangabad, a spread out manufacturing town of some 1.1 million people, green and dusty in equal measure, has the airport nearest to the caves as well as several fine hotels. He's talking about Aurangabad here. Aurangabad is the place where the caves have been located. This is just an introduction to his journey to Ajanta and Ellora caves. He's explaining about the beauty and wonder not only of Ajanta and Ellora caves but also of certain spots or locations that has witnessed the pages of history in India. I think we can wind up the session. Thank you, everyone.